After hops are picked and sifted, they go into a kiln to dry with propane heaters and oxygen intake to fuel those heaters. And if the outside air is smoky during that step, it could cause smoke taint that changes the flavor of the beer. It'll make them taste more like beef jerky or hot dogs rather than the fruity or earthy taste intended.
I was like, wait, are we smelling this in the hops or is this in the air? But it became pretty clear pretty quickly that, yeah, it was definitely in some of the hops. And we were just like, what are we going to do?
It's still fairly new to hop farms and brewers. The 2020 wildfire season led Yakima Valley hop fields to coin the term.
Smoke taint is a complex phenomenon that permeates throughout all the Pacific Northwest growing regions in the past several years.
It doesn't show up until the day of the harvest, so hop growers, brewers, and universities already doing research came together to find solutions, such as the hop slurry method, grinding the cones up and mixing it into a water and ethanol solution.
Beer is mostly water. That's why they're getting into beer. Adding that water component to the process helped kind of lift those aromas out so that we were making really sure that if something was smoke tainted, we were going to catch it.
May 23rd, DNA from Jane Doe's femur bone matched to her brother. Veretta Johnny Gates was between 18 and 25 years old when she died. Originally from Vermont, she was known to be a wanderer and hitchhiked to the West Coast. She was last seen in Chicago less than 2 weeks before she was found in Yakima.
This has thankfully allowed some closure to our family after 47 years and a wound that never healed.
That's Yakima Police reading a statement released by the family of Veretta Johnny Gates. This is what the parking lot looks like today, where her body was found in 1977, when an employee reported a smell coming from a car that hadn't been moved in 6 months. Yakima police found a body already decomposing. An autopsy confirmed Gates died by strangulation, but there was little evidence left for detectives.
It wasn't even a half an hour. That's how fast that fire moved.
I first met Deanna Williams yesterday when evacuations for the Slide Ranch fire began. At the Red Cross shelter, she told me she was there because she was in the evacuation boundary, but was confident her home was safe. Until Williams and her daughter went to see it around 8 in the evening.
She goes, "It's gone, Mom." I was like, "No, it's not. You can't see the house from here because that big bush was still there." She goes, "It's gone, Mom." I was like, "No, it's not."
Williams lost the home her dad worked to build for her family in 1977, still burning as she tries to understand the situation she's in.
I don't know really how I'm feeling. I'm just in shock yet, I guess. Even though our home is lost, we're all safe. Everybody says, "Oh, it's just material things, your life is saved," but it still hurts. It's still a loss.
Officials say despite 16 homes being lost in the fire, there have been no injuries. But now, Deanna and 15 other families are supporting each other in recovery.
I call them neighbors even though they're 2 or 3 miles from us, and we're all praying together. But our neighbors lost their homes, so I'm feeling the way they do, and because we all know each other in White Swan.
Yeah, Xander, this is still very much an active scene out here. I've been out here for about 45 minutes. I've seen walls of smoke sneak across this street from the fire, and our last nonstop hit, there was a whole building right there. So I've been gone, another smaller building had collapsed to rubble. A lot of smoke still in the air. That's why that shelter-in-place warning is there. And crews in Jenna Coconauer with Benton County Fire District 1 have told me to keep my head on a swivel for those blowing embers that have been starting wildfires and vegetation fires across the area. Everything from toys to animal food burned inside of the Yakima Humane Society's event shed. Now, the shelter has to work to replace all of these items affected by the fire.
As a total loss. Anytime I get a phone call in the middle of the night, it always makes me a little bit worried for the animals.
The Yakima Humane Society says the late night fire wiped out everything inside one of its supply sheds. Firefighters told Adoption Center manager Kelly Peel that the fire started outside the gate and was contained before it spread to other sheds. The panels were first installed in farm worker homes to lower the utility costs in low-income families, but Inslee says the program is set to expand.
But this is a program that's going to be available to sort of everybody, teachers, firefighters, truck drivers, nurses, you name it. It's not just farm workers. because we have $1 billion available to be able to help families do this.
The governor then made his way to Zilla, where he was led by Sela Chief of Police on a tour of the Yakima Valley Local Crime Lab. The facility opened in August, connecting law enforcement agencies across the valley together to quickly process evidence. Inslee says the need for law enforcement is high within the area, but the teamwork of the agencies is a good way to start.
So it's very impressive. This is the only place I'm aware of in the state of Washington where this is done, where the local communities, local police agencies have come together. It's great to see that teamwork.
The Umatilla County Sheriff's Office says that many of these little wildfires were started by lightning strikes. And just to give you a sense of how close some of these fires have burned to the cities, I'm here in the middle of Pilot Rock at the fire department, and it's smoky and hazy here. I can see the street light that looks just like out of a horror movie, almost like a fog, and that smoke I can smell all the way on the drive to Pendleton. From 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., Rachel Horspool and her family were sheltering in place as law enforcement looked for a suspect in an ongoing investigation.
And a KPD officer on patrol, just routine patrol, located a stolen vehicle in front of the residence, and that precipitated the event that you saw here today.
KPD and the SWAT team used resources like flashbangs and smoke to lure 13 people out of the house.
Yeah, so the Special Weapons and Tactics team uses many different tactics to try to coerce subjects out of the residence so that everybody can be taken into custody as safely as possible. And it's just one of the tactics that was used in this incident.
A couple of the flashbangs went off and scared her, but it was pretty scary.
Police found 13 people in the home, with only 2 being arrested for separate warrants. Sunnyside community also in awe of Cuevas's work, and the 2 longtime friends say there's different interpretations someone can take out of the mural.
I hope this mural stirs conversation about Sunnyside and the rest of the towns that where people share a history, have their own history with the towns.
Have faith and have put yourself with challenges and make those happen. And this would be the result right here.
Their work on 6th Street, already getting national attention, will be featured in the Yellowstone Trail Association newsletter, sharing the mural with hundreds who share the same appreciation for the trail's legacy. Reporting in Sunnyside, Thomas Dianella, Nonstop Local. Mini Takes the States happens every 2 years, so be on the lookout in 2026 for the next event. And I've been told by many of these mini owners that they're already planning to be part of that one. In Yakima, Thomas Dianella, Nonstop Local. The Sons of Union veterans tell me that the event will be back next Memorial Day, likely honoring the headstone just next to Matthews. In Yakima, Thomas Dianella, Nonstop Local. While I arrived too late to walk the mile with the group, I still threw on some red heels to participate in the cause. And if it looks like I've never walked in high heels before, that's because I haven't. And that was the case for most of the men.
Probably almost halfway through, it was starting to get, it was starting to hurt a lot. But I was gonna push it, man, and I made it to the end.
The Lighthouse says this is an annual event, and if you want to participate next year, look for it in the last weekend of April. In Sunnyside, Thomas Dianella, Nonstop Local.